It's 6:30 p.m. on Saturday, October 15th, I believe, 2023. Is that right? Yeah. Oh my goodness, I'm behind on my taxes. Anyway, we are moving the cows to the second cell of the third section. And weather right now, it's 67 degrees. It looks like tomorrow is going to have a high of 68. It's going to get down to the 40s tonight. It's going to be cold. The grass here is pretty amazing though. Just walking through the goat weed, I saw lots of good examples of grass. Good stuff here. Thick, solid grass. I don't know what kind of grass that is. It's not Bermuda grass though. It's thick. It's all over the place. And it's growing in clumps right now, but you know, we've got complete ground cover. I don't see any dirt. Wait, there's a little bit of dirt. Boop. Grass everywhere. Cows seem to be doing well. Their bellies are fat. Triangles are filled in. There's number 24 over there in the back. Boop, 24. She's doing pretty well too. Around the chicken coop, there's like this tiny thin grass, like little hairs growing up everywhere. So I think the cool season grasses are really starting to grow now. We should get nice thick grass before the winter really starts. Looks like we're going to have temperatures in the high 60s for the next couple days. Then it's going to get up to the 70s. No rain predicted. The rain that was supposed to come next week is gone. Just a dry autumn. So that's not ideal. It's not what I wanted, but that's what I'm getting. The ram is hanging out with the sheep, boop, down there. And the sheep are in the pen, so I want to get the ram in the pen too. So we can have them all together, one big happy family. And the purpose of putting the sheep together is so that I can, when I wean the puppies, I can bond them with the sheep. And I do need to keep the sheep moving. I can't leave them in here forever. So at some point, I'm probably gonna set up some wires. Probably gonna go along this fence here because there's water along that fence, and just move them along, keeping them watered, fresh grass, fresh pasture behind netting so they don't get out. And then at some point the puppies will have to go in, and we'll have to introduce the puppies to the wire. Let them learn that it will zap you in a safe and humane way. And then eventually get them trained not to touch the wire and stay where they're supposed to be. So, yep. Puppies are growing. They still haven't opened their eyes, but they're getting very big. They're getting heavy. They're going to be big dogs. So, yeah. It looks like the sheep have stuck pretty much back here. They stayed pretty much back here. I'll kind of put my camera through the fence here so you can see better. But they grazed back here pretty well. I closed the gate off, by the way. This gate there. Because I opened this gate down there so the ram can come in. And maybe eventually I'll figure it out. But if tomorrow morning I come here and the ram still isn't in, then what I'll do is I'll move the sheep over to that paddock. There's a little area there. It's a little tiny area. Hold them back there, and then the ram will have to go around to get in and meet them. So they've pretty much mowed this all down. It's all fresh grass growing right now. So I don't want to leave them in here for more than a day. Probably close the gate behind them. This is their water source, so they're not going to get water tonight. They'll be fine. They don't drink very much water. This area here, this is where I kept the sheep and the dogs together when I first got the dogs back in January and February. The Wyoming dogs. So you can see here that this is definitely overgrazed. So we got the goat weed, but there's no goat weed back there because we didn't graze that at all. Probably just a couple times the cows were up back there. So, and this is the main area of the pen, completely thick goat weed. But there's tons and tons of grass down there. There's all kinds of other things too. I don't know what that is at the bottom of that gate. I do not know. But there's tons of stuff back here. But my plan is to basically keep the sheep back here for as long as I can, and then start moving them with a net. And then when the puppies are ready, I'll introduce the puppies to the sheep and the pen, and I'll probably set up just like a single wire, like make a physical barrier and then run a single wire through the middle of it. And then once the puppies learn not to cross the wire, then I'll do that thing where you put a break in the wire so there's a gap so they can get across the wire, just go around it. And once they learn they can go around the wire, then that's pretty much it. You know, once they learn there's a wire, and it's the wire that zaps them. Keep in mind the zap isn't deadly. It's just a zap. You know, it's a wake-up call. Getting stung by a bee is way worse. Stung by a wasp way worse than getting zapped by the fence. Even if I were to hold the ground and then hold the high wire, the 10,000 volt wire, it's just a quick zap. You know, yeah, you're gonna feel that. Your muscles will be sore. You're gonna jump. But for the most part, like if you're near a ground rod, there's not too much ground to stop the current flow. But if you're like in the middle of the pasture and you get zapped by the 10,000 volt wire, it doesn't do much because the electricity has to travel through the ground. So, yeah. And besides, the animals, they learn not to touch that wire. They leave it alone. That's what it's for. Hey guys. Here. Sheep. Oh, you want to stick your head out? Okay. Hi, how are you doing? This guy learned about the wire. He likes the sheep. He's bonded to the sheep. He stays on the land. You take care of my sheep? You know, he's a keeper. I might breed him too. I wanted to get Hindungi's genes first. I really like Hindungi's personality. But this guy might be next in line. Your puppies with Nutmeg might make some really good sheep dogs. Sheep guard dogs. His matted fur back here is just coming off. It's all coming off. Yeah. He's like, it's coming out. Doot, doot, doot. All right, that's all I got for you on this evening, this cool evening, where I didn't have to bring a jacket, but if it gets any colder, I will. Have a great day. Bye-bye.